It's Anja here, and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today we are making the Ophelia square into a sunflower square, and we are turning it into a blanket. So I will be showing you how to make the square, how to attach it with the join as you go method, and how to do the border. Now, as you can see, I made a blanket for Layla's bed. Of course, you can make however many squares you need to make your size blanket that you want to make. And yes, stay around for the end of the video because I am taking the bed for a walk. Enjoy the video. Let's get started on the blanket. So the colors for this blanket are camel, mocha, sage for the flower, and then for the squares to go round it and to attach them, we have copper, khaki, and walnut. I am using my trusted 3.5, a darning needle and scissors, of course. So let me show you first of all how to make the actual square with the sunflowers. Now the thing is, I designed this new Ophelia square, and when I made it in these particular colors, I sort of put it to the side, put it to the side, didn't look at it very well, and then at one point my eye caught that square and it looked just like a sunflower. So I thought, oh my goodness, how much does this look like a sunflower, and how much is it going to be that I can actually make a sunflower blanket? So I was so pleased I spotted that, and to be honest, I was just playing around with the colors, so you know. Right, so I've done my slip knot and we are making 5 chains. So like I said, this is the Ophelia square. There are videos on how to make it. 5 chains, that's 4 and 5. Right, okay, I will link them at the top here. So go back to your first chain and do a slip stitch making a little circle. Then chain 2, 1, 2, and then you are going to do 15 double crochets into that circle. A double crochet is yarn over, insert into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you just keep going like that until you have done 15. Then we will do a slip stitch over that first initial chain of 2, and that will give us the 16 V's we need going round the outside of our work. And with making a chain of 5, you're going to get a little bit of a bigger hole in the middle of your square. And let me just count and see how many V's I have got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. One more. That's 15. Then I skip those 2 chains here, go under the 15th chain, and I create a 16th one. And that will lie over the chain, turning it into, you know, the equivalent of a double crochet. So that's the center of our sunflower done. So let's cut off the yarn, pull it out, and let's go to the next color. Now, yes, a sunflower is normally yellow and it's darker on the inside. So you would be able to use sort of walnut and maybe a yellower like gold. But I just thought this gave it a much more muted look. I don't know. It just, yeah. Can you tell I'm excited? Oh dear. I hope Layla is as well. Okay. I've done my slip knot, ready to start crocheting, yarn over. Then I go into any V, so under any V, and I make my corner. A corner in the Ophelia square is made up of 2 double crochets, 2 chains, and 2 double crochets, and you do all those in the same stitch. There we go. So we've done a corner. Now we are actually going to do a side, and a side is made up of 3 half double crochets. So you yarn over into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through all the 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over. This is where we finished, so making sure you do exactly the same there. Right, there we go. So 3 half double crochets. Then we do a corner of 2 double crochets, 2 chains, and 2 double crochets. I thought this blanket had some Van Gogh in it. I don't know why, but it just, I don't know. Then 3 half double crochets. I wish I could just, you know, have the time to make one for my own bed. That's how pretty I think it is. Then another corner. And as you can see, we are now turning our circle into a square. And even though it's a circle turned into a square, with the green added in the next round, I just thought it looked so much like flower petals. You know, maybe I have an overactive imagination, but hey, that can only be good if you have a crochet channel here on YouTube. Okay, so we're nearly there, and all we need to do is 3 half double crochets in those 3 last stitches. I have got a tutorial for this square in multicolor and one color as well, so do go and have a look at that. Right, so then we are skipping that first stitch under the first recognizable V, and we do a slip stitch. There we go. And again, we cut off our yarn because we have finished for this color. And once again, I thought, yes, I can use this one, but yeah, I just think the sage gives it that, I don't know, the right color for the sunflower, for the muted sunflower. So I've done my slip knot, I've got my hook into it, and I'm going to do round 3 of the Ophelia square. Once again, we start in a corner, doing a corner. There we go. So we do a standing double crochet, another one, 2 chains, and 2 more double crochets. There we go. Okay, now for this row, like I said in the original sort of design of this square, I feel that this row is like almost like there's a little leaves or little greenery around your flower. So this row is the row where we are doing chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1. You know you've done your 3 double crochets on the side. You now have to start your corner, so you go to the corner and you do it. There are certain things that you need to remember in this square, but I have to say I've now made that little blanket as well. It's just such a lovely little square to make and easy to remember if you keep remembering those little things that I told you. So yeah, let's do those 3 double crochets, skip 1, chain 1, and we're back at the corner already here. There we go. And yeah, it looks, I could not stop myself from thinking it was a sunflower. Muted, yes, and I'm loving the colors, to be honest. So yeah, really pleased with this color combination. There we go. See, look, and we are nearly there. So chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, and we continue and finish our round like this. Now, once you get to this point, so you skip here under the V, do your slip stitch to finish the round. Now, once you get to this point, you're going to have to stop, because now with the last round, that is when we are going to attach them. So we've got various ones here, and I am now going to show you how to attach them together. So you're going to do the first one, you are going to do in the correct color. Okay, so I'm going to choose this one here, the copper, and you're going to do your round as normal. So this is the join as you go method. So each time you make a little square to this size, you can add it to your blanket. Okay, obviously I've made them all now just to be able to show you. So once again, start with the standing double crochet for a corner. And as we are doing a normal round, I'm just going to do the normal round, the normal 1, 2, 3, 4th round of the Ophelia square. So I've done my corner. I'm skipping this stitch here because we are just skipping it because I found there was just too many stitches. Then you do 1 in the stitch, 1 around the chain space, 1 in the stitch, 1 around the chain space, and so on. And in fact, you're doing 9 stitches. There we go, and then around here, and then here on top of those 2 from the corner, you just do 1 wherever you can manage to get into it, because I think I finished there, so I had to sew something in. So you're checking 2, 4, 6, 8, and there's 9, and that's perfect. And then you go onto your corner. So you continue your square all the way around until it is finished. I've made it to the end, slip stitch here and close the round. Okay, so that is your first square done basically. And that is the start of your blanket. Now, yeah, we'll sew in the ends later. Now for the second square, okay, you're going to take the second color, and in this case, I'm going to be using khaki. Where's the inside of my ball here? Yeah, roll this back up. Okay, so I'm using khaki. So this time, I have to attach the square, the next square, to this one here. So I'm going to get started as normal in a corner, because that's where I like to get started. So let's get started in a corner by doing a corner. And I always try and only have to do like 1 more side where the actual square is already attached to the bigger thing. In the beginning it doesn't really matter, but towards the end it gets quite heavy and everything. If you're making a full-size blanket, if you're attaching 1 square to it, it's getting quite heavy. But I try not to, not to have to do too many sides while you're actually working on it. But of course you have to. I mean, there's no avoiding it. Okay, so let me just check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, that's good. And do your corner. There we go. And another side. And now I do half a corner. So that means you do 2 double crochets and 1 chain. Okay. Then you're going to take your square and you go into the corner here. Okay. Try to hold on to everything. Then wind your yarn around your hook, bring it up through the hole there, and just do a slip stitch, and you've attached. Then you do another chain, because that's what you do in the corner, 2 chains, and you do your 2 double crochets, finishing your corner. Now that you've finished your corner, you're going to go and have a look on the other side. See these 2 here? Then you've got the next one. Go in between here and do the same thing. Loop over your yarn and bring it up and do a slip stitch. Then you continue your side as you would normally. So you do your double crochet on top, double crochet around, double crochet on top of the stitch. So you've done 3 double crochets. Then you count 1, 2, 3 double crochets on the other square. You go in between these 2 stitches. You do that loop around thing again, bring it up and do a slip stitch. Don't do this too tightly. Okay, do it quite loosely. So you give your square place to lie, sort of to just lie next to each other. You don't want them bunched together. Then continue your side. 1 double crochet, another one, and another one. And as we have 9 double crochets on each side, you're going to do this 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, yarn around, bring it up, slip stitch, and another 3 double crochets. Three double crochets, count to 3, there we go, in. And now we're doing our corner. Corners are made up of 2 double crochets, so you do your 2 double crochets, you do your chain 1, then you go into the corner there, you do that loop round and a slip stitch, then you do your second chain for the corner, and then you do your 2 double crochets, and off we go again, doing our last side of our square. And as you can see now, we have attached them. Okay, we have attached the 2 squares nicely next to each other, and we just have them lying next to each other like that. So they are attached with a slip stitch every 3rd stitch here, and then of course for the corners the 2 stitches. So this is how you're going to do your first row, because obviously you're going to just that's all you can attach. So you'll have to attach here for your next one, and then for the 4th one you'll be attaching there as well. Okay, so that is what you will do for your first row. Then I will come back to you in a moment to show you what to do for the next row and the rows after that. so we started with copper, then we did khaki, walnut, then again copper, khaki, walnut, copper, khaki, walnut, copper, khaki, walnut. And doing it like that, of course, has made sure that there is a lovely pattern of the different colors. Now I have continued on to this blanket, so I started here and then I added all my other rows. So I'm now actually adding my last row, but the last row, just like all the other middle rows, is the same. So it's just the first row that has where you attach just one side. Then for the other rows, you will be attaching, for the first square, you will be attaching one side. And then from then on, you will be attaching two sides. So, and because of course I've got 3 colors, but 4 locations, every time the color is going to shift, and so it's going to create a lovely pattern. Okay, so let's get started. Like I said, using walnut, make your slip knot, insert your hook, and take your first square and do your corner. Chain 2, 2 double crochets, then your side, and then you do a half corner, a chain 1, and then you are going to go into the corner here of this square, and you do your slip stitch, chain 1, and you continue doing your corner. Skip 2 stitches in between there, yarn the yarn around, or loop the yarn around better, and then just continue doing your double crochets. And also, just like we did before, where we were attaching it to one side, so you do a slip stitch onto the other square every 3rd double crochet, except when you're doing the corner, then you do it after 2 already. So there we go, and we attach it like that. Skip 3 up, yeah, and do a little slip stitch. Then you do your corner, chain 1, and there we go. So you just, I tended to go into the same color if there was, there we go, just slip stitch, chain 1, and now I just continue doing my round. Okay, now for the next one. This is when it becomes interesting. Okay, start with your slip knot around your hook, yarn over, and you do half a corner, so just 2 double crochets. We're going to finish this with the 2 chains and then a slip stitch when we get back to the other side, of course. So then you do your normal side here. Okay, so here we are. I am on my 3rd corner, doing 2 double crochets, 1 chain, going into here, looping it round, bringing it through and doing a slip stitch, another chain, and we are continuing our side by doing the 2nd part of the corner, then skipping 2, going in and attaching it as we did before. Continuing, doing 3 double crochets on the side, then going over to the other square, 1, 2, 3, in there, loop it round, can you see it? Bring it through, slip stitch. I mean, it is really simple. You can I've made them obviously all in advance and done the assembling all now, but of course you can assemble them one at a time. So each time you do your last round, you just use that round to attach it to your previous work. And there we go. Okay, then we do the corner. So 2 double crochets, a chain. Then you go and you choose somewhere to go into. Generally, I'll go into the opposite one. Bring your yarn up and do a slip stitch, do your chain. Then you do the next part of the corner. Yeah, there we go. And now, of course, you're going to be attaching on this side. So again, just skipping the 2 stitches on the opposite square, and you continue as you did before. And now we have turned the corner and we are attaching this square on the side and on the top. There we go, see? And just continuing, there we go. 1, 2, 3 in there, slip stitch, and you just continue on. This is why I try and do as many sides as I can off the blanket, because, you know, working like this is not so easy. It's a little bit awkward, but it works, and it works well enough for you to do this, you know, to finish the blanket. And then here again we go and choose somewhere to go into, just so that it's attached nicely. Chain, and then of course we've done our chains. Here now we continue our corner, but we've done these 2, so we just do a slip stitch and close the round. There we go. See? And we have finished putting on the square with 2 sides. And that is obviously what you do for each row. So the first one of a row is just the top, all the others of the row is the 2 sides. So I will see you now when you are ready to start the border. So for the border, I actually am going to use the 3 colors I used for the last row of the squares. So the copper, the khaki, and the walnut. I have put all the squares together. I am really loving the look. I just cannot get over how much this looks like a sunflower. And I went ahead and did the border. I was just so excited. So I started with khaki, then copper, and then walnut, and I did exactly the same corners as we have been doing in the square. So 2 double crochets, 2 chains, and 2 double crochets. And then when I got to the location where, let me just show you like this, it might be easier, where 2 squares met, I did my last stitch into those 2 double crochets. Now, sometimes I did 1, sometimes I did 2, just depends on how far it was. Then I skipped the chain, skipped this chain as well, but I put a double crochet in the middle here. And I did it like this in every one. And you might think that these 2 holes here are quite big, but I was trying to avoid the border from becoming wavy. So the less stitches, the better. So here again, you know, you will, I know you can see those holes, but on the other hand, in the overall look of the blanket, you don't. And my border is lying nice and flat, as you can see, and it worked out really well. So really the borders I did just like I would have done with the last row of the square. Like I said, the corners and then just double crochets all along. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. do stay around for a little bit longer because I have some footage of me with my bed going for a walk.